Well, hey, and here's bonus story. I just really want to tell this story. It didn't fit into the time of the meetup, so I'm filming it afterward. I had this wonderful experience just yesterday. See, I'm channeling my life. I'm sharing how the universe works from my own experience. So just yesterday, I had this really new milestone experience, which totally relates to this topic of how to respond with the universe, not just react to it. Because the false negative beliefs are causing us to think that things should work a certain way, and then it doesn't work that way, and we think, oh, it's against us. When in fact, the universe works a lot better than we thought it would, and we're just driving it the wrong way. It would be kind of like if you're learning to drive a car, and well, I guess to start with, the metaphor is, I want to drive a car. Okay, you're already driving it. What? That's what was going on. That's my life was so bumpy and crazy because I'm already running my life. I wanted to run my own life. You already are. So then it's a question of learning how to run your life while you're running it. Well, it's the best way, really. It's total immersion. You learn very quickly. You're highly motivated to learn. It's not theoretical. It's not textbook. You're actually in your life finding out what kind of choices affect you which ways. So, and then to extend the metaphor a little more is the fact that false negative beliefs are like a really bad driver instructor who's telling you lies. It's like saying I want to turn right over there. And the driving instructor says, okay, then turn your wheel to the left. Oh, really? Okay, let me try it. It's like, no, I crashed into a tree. Oh, you crashed into a tree because you're such a bad driver. You didn't do it exactly how I told it to you. Keep trying, keep doing it. It's like, that is what false beliefs are like. They tell you exactly the wrong thing to do. And the more you trust yourself and pay attention to your experience, you will realize it's false. It's telling me exactly the wrong thing to do. I'm getting exactly not the results I intended. It's just the complication is that the false beliefs, they gang up on you. They pile up. They don't just say okay, turn left to go right. Well, that didn't work. You're obviously wrong. No, then it says oh, it's because you're so bad and you didn't do it as fast as I told you to and you did it the wrong way and you're a bad driver and you'll never be able to drive and all this stuff. It piles on the wrongness and the shame and it says if you keep trying, it'll finally work. And so at some point, you realize, you see it clearly enough, you trust yourself, you choose yourself, choosing between false negative beliefs that said the world would work this way and it never does, versus choosing myself. I'm having experiences I think life could work, and if I trust myself, listen to myself more, I would find out how it really works. And there's a little leap of faith there, right? It's been so long, we've been so immersed in this false belief systems, this bad driving instructor telling us to do the wrong things, and that we keep crashing and says it's all our fault, instead of obviously it's a bad driving instructor. And so we've gotten out of touch with it. It can be hard to believe sometimes that the universe really is on our side, really works that well. Then remember, the basic way it works is that, sure, there are pockets of, problems and examples because the universe needs to show you your beliefs. It's honey, your beliefs make a difference. You got to know that you're holding on to a false belief, all people are cheaters. So then you meet a few cheaters and your false belief says, see, there, all people are cheaters. But your experience would be well, I'm not a cheater. I don't like that. I wouldn't be that way. There must be people who are like me. You can reason through and realize there's a greater context. There's always a greater framework for how life can make sense and work, and there should be good people like me. You need to show yourself by your own good example that I am the kind of person I want to be with. There must be more people like me. The false beliefs say I'm so awful and bad. No, I'm not so awful and bad. Other people say I'm so awful and bad, but they follow false beliefs. I can see how they're suffering. Consider the source. Consider who's saying it. I mean, if somebody says something horrible, but they have a horrible lifestyle and they're really messed up, it's well, take it with a grain of salt. It's this person is suffering. I can't trust what they're saying. So, learn to be your friend. Learn to trust yourself. I had a great experience yesterday that I want to share because I think it really illustrates the whole new way to live that we need to discover. First of all, you learn that you can trust yourself. You can be with your human self. Say, honey, tell me about what you went through. And like, I agree with you. Like, we're friends. We belong as a team. We got to sort out which beliefs are false, which people follow false beliefs. We shouldn't be with them. Which beliefs are true, that work the way the universe works, that let through the love. We want to be with people like that. We want to be with people like ourselves. So I'm repeating myself a little bit, but this is the context. So I'm learning how to make good use of even bad situations, and seeing how what's bad about a situation is really the old prejudices, the old reactions, the old false beliefs that said, this is what you have to do in this situation, when in fact that's what makes it worse. So here's this scene, this situation. As always, like every story has huge, your whole life story leading up to it, everything leading from it. But the focus is, so yesterday I ran a mystic picnic, I call it, in person in the Raleigh area. People who share mystical experiences can get together. We had a really nice time, 12 of us in a park. And so what I often experience is like these real highs of like being in a flow, like, oh my God, my community. On the other hand, I've had this obsessive quality my whole life of being this community leader. Like, we've got to be spiritual. We've got to talk about spiritual things. And that's the quality of negativity, is that it pushes away certain experiences, saying like, no, that could never work for me. That's not good. I can only have this kind of experience. So I've gotten mellower. It's like, I want to value all parts of my life, not just the peak best moments that are clearly, I want more of this kind of thing, but I also want all parts of my life to be working, because wherever you go, there you are. You need to, if you push away a situation as totally bad for you, you're also getting rid of the part of you that was there. Like I said, you can reject the experience, but don't reject the experiencer. The part of you that agrees with you, that's not good for us. That part of you, bring it home. So what I usually have happen is, after these wonderful, wonderful peak experiences of spiritual community and great conversations and mutual validation and support, I have had to deal with like crashing, like I'm back to being alone by myself. And what do I do next? Well, first of all, you need to know that as a human being, you're not supposed to know what to do next. You're not always supposed to have the answers. You're supposed to let there be higher, wiser parts of yourself that love you and will supply the answers. So you do the best you can. You go as far as you can with your spiritual understanding of like, yeah, I want to try this. I think this would be a good approach, and so on. And you get down in your human experience, like, I've done the best I can, and this is what I got. This is my fruits of my labors. And in this case, it was really good. But you can crash. You don't know what to do next. So I'm like, my mind is racing with like, okay, I should just rush home and do my next project and upload a video and like, go, 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 go. It's like, what? Come on, the rat race, endless work for what? It's like, no, the point is relax, enjoy. I had a great mystic picnic, all my friends, new and old. So I've had other times where I walk in the woods afterward. And this time I was so tired from hours at this picnic. It went long. It was so great. Those times when you get with like the people you really belong with and like just excite each other, and you go like, maybe we're overextended, but gosh, this is good. But I was like, no, I don't want to rush home. I don't want to listen to those slave driving false beliefs that say you're not good enough. You have to do more. I've learned that you need to celebrate your successes. You need to have a sense of full closure, of coming home, sort of the cast party after a great performance, get together with your friends. My inner world, I felt a definite shift of like the outer world was really good, and I've got an inner world waiting for me to celebrate with. Because the best times of your life are when your outer world connects well, reminds you of, are good examples of your inner world. But the inner world is the one you're always with. You're always connected with. The outer world, they're other people. Let them come and go. It's like my friends are going off to other things. I'm going to my thing. So I made a journal, my audio journal. I love it because it gives me an opportunity to listen back to it, whether I do or not. And I made an audio journal and just kind of spilled out like the depths of my despair that's still there. It's like, God, am I always going to have peak moments and then crash, not knowing what to do next? Will my life ever get any better than, running some good parties and people say thanks and bye? And, I need more funding. I need more support. I need more, project colleagues. So I felt all that. And I felt more of my inner soul family, the parts of your soul. This is what you get to know. This is why you can be grateful even for bad situations, because it resonates with parts of yourself, and you bring up the parts of yourself. And first, as you suffer in the negative experience on the outside, you're having a negative experience on the inside. That's your negative ego. That's your survival personality on false beliefs that's coming up. But as you work that through and realize, it's my human being, you don't have to survive those false beliefs. You don't have to, do things you're ashamed of, like yelling and trying to convert people and, so on. I've done a lot of that shadow work. So at this point, I'm just like, hey, my soul family, I need to experience you more. I need to come home. I call it the afterdate. I learned this a long time ago with, not that many years ago. I had a good date with somebody who was just my kind of person, but not in the areas that are my life. In other words, we could share all these stories of healing, and we have the similar understanding of what it means to go through traumas in life and really love yourself and heal yourself. And it was a one-date wonder. It was great time, and we have nothing more to do with each other. Let's just, it's great to know you're there. It's great to have met you. It was really eye-opening. Wow, there can be somebody who's so right, the kind of person that I love to meet, and we have nothing more to do with each other. So this was a couple of years ago where, 4 years ago? It was a real turning point. You treasure these really peak learning experiences, how life works. So I was going into loneliness and despair after those feelings of you have fun with friends and they all go home with their spouses and their families and their jobs and you got nothing kind of thing. And I just felt my inner partner, my partner self, saying well, what about me? Let's have the afterdate. Let's have the second half. You have the outward experience, let's do the inward experience. So I talked with my inner woman, my inner partner, and I said all the things I would have liked to have said to this person I just had a date with, but I know that they're not into that kind of stuff. And then I felt her in me responding, saying all the things I would have liked to have heard from that other person I just went on a date with, but I know they're not going to say it because we have different lives, different vocabularies. And then I went into such bliss, because your inner world is real. I mean, your soul has endless numbers of aspects to it, parts to it, different selves, different partners and friends and colleagues. And that's just your own soul. That's your own universe. Remember, you live inside your own universe. So you have a part of you that's meeting up with against a part of somebody else. And you make that resonance. So you enjoy the outer world, and then you got to enjoy the inner world. So I do my after date after the picnic, talking about now again yesterday. And then I was ready to take a walk in the woods. And I found a nice spot where I could lay down by the lake in the shade. Just felt magical. And I felt so immersed in just the calm, the peace of nature that I think I was I was just experiencing a kind of gentle bliss without any particular thoughts or feelings. And I realized I'm actually a little scared of this state because I'm used to being a very thinking, talking, describing person. That's just part of who I am as a spiritual teacher. I want to express things. And here I am just having this immersion in nature, and I don't even know where it's going, and I don't know what I'm going to do after this, but it's really nice. So I relaxed, and then it came up talk more with your inner self. So I talked with my inner partner. It was really real. It was really wonderful. And I'm still getting to the heart of the story. You'll see. And then it was approaching time to go, and I was I had this flash of guilt of oh, what about my teenage boys at home? Oh, I should have brought them with me on such a wonderful experience. when you have those times of guilt, it's like, oh, I just had said something wonderful. Like, oh, I should have helped this poor person. They would have loved this. Well, those are times of projection. I realize, like, no, wait a minute. My kids have their own lives. They could be enjoying whatever they're doing or not enjoying it. So that's up to them, their own soul. I can't suddenly transport them to here and feel as good as I'm feeling. I realize, like, oh, it's my inner child, my inner teenager, whatever. So invite them. So soon it becomes a whole party of your inner selves. Whoever comes up, you can have projected feelings that map back to a part of yourself. You can have like longing for the partner and loneliness, and that's a part of yourself. Bring them all up. You have a paradise in you. Nothing is missing in your perfect ideal world. And it's really there energetically, always available. So here's the part that, so I was feeling really great. I took some video shots of this lovely, like the trees and the shimmering of the water on the underside of the leaves, really magical and panning around. And then I looked over and I realized there's a discarded beer bottle, trash, a few feet away. It was probably in whatever, pictures and video I was taking. So the first thing is the judgment. Like, damn, the people who are ruining my life, litter bugs, like jerk, whatever, that's the old stuff, okay? Don't be ashamed of it. It's just, that's what we were trained to do the kind of pushing away things, judging, it shouldn't even exist. That's the absolute judgments that hurt people, hurt you and hurt others. Definitely always hurt you, may or may not have anyone else who agrees with you. But judgmental people, you notice, they're always suffering. They're always tormented. They're always walking on eggshells. Like, don't you dare say I do those things. I'm the one who decides who gets punished, and it's not me. It's other, it's like that kind of stuff. So I realized, like, how can I not judge this litter bug? And a part of me comes up and thinks, well, be a good Boy Scout or whatever and pick up the bottle. I'm going to take it back. I'll be so proud of myself. And it's like, no, that's kind of a better then. It's like, I'm the one who picks up trash. Other people, jerks, they create trash. And when you haven't found the right solution, when you have a sense of like the eternal suffering, like, oh, I'm going to be forever the one who picks up other people's trash. That's an awful feeling. Then I got this insight of like, wait a minute. The whole point of the outside world is to be a mirror, or a selective reflections to a part of me that's eternal here right now. Somebody, drank a beer and left the bottle here. Somebody, I wouldn't do that. It's beautiful nature. I would not do that. But somebody who was so out of touch with themselves that they had to like numb the pain, drink a beer, and then out of touch with nature, just leave the bottle here, not even think about, how that messes things up. Somebody out of touch with themselves, somebody self-medicating, drinking beer. I don't even drink alcohol anymore. But other things I can enjoy, but, the point is, like, I can relate to somebody who's so disconnected that they're seeking to self-medicate, numb the pain, and then they leave a mess and they don't even feel it. They don't even get it. I don't want to spend my life picking up after that person. I don't want to spend my life having that kind of person in me. It's all a reflection. And then I got it. It was like, realized, like, of course, the times when I do that kind of thing, not exactly that. I don't drink beer. I wouldn't leave it in a forest. But there are times when, some sort of little addictive kind of self-medicating, self-comforting behavior, say like, binge watching a TV show or something. Some sort of thing that's like, it kind of leaves things a mess. You're kind of overextended for a while. You forget your cares and you numb out. That's how that person was, and they left the mess. It's like, I am going to pick up that bottle. I am going to be the good Boy Scout, but not because I'm always going to pick up after people, because I'm talking to myself right now. As I pick up the bottle, I'm like talking to myself, the me who is disconnected and seeks pleasure and seeks pain numbing. I love you. Come home. It's okay. I can pick up after you, and I don't shame you. I don't judge you. You did the best you could, and just come home and talk with me. And then as I picked up the bottle and I carried it, I could feel that part of me. Whenever I, want some sort of like distraction, pain numbing, whatever, addiction, that part of me was like thank you so much for caring about me, for accepting me. I just was doing the best I could. And I don't mean to create messes in my life and that kind of thing. It felt really good. It was like a closure. You get a sense of loops closing when you make use of reality as a ritual for a part of yourself. So the whole direction of judging other people messing up my life, that's the negativity. You're pushing away a part of yourself. The direction of saying like, okay, thank you people who arranged this scene I'm in now. I want to use this scene, this current reality, to connect with a part of myself that I needed a handle on. I needed a way to talk with them. This is it now. I'm healing the part of me that is out of touch and it could have been my own self later that day. I would have gone home and felt like, oh, that was such a great time in the woods, but now I'm back in the mess and I just want to binge eat chocolate or something to numb the pain and leave a mess and stay up late and watch a show and, have good intentions but never get to them, that kind of mess. So it was really neat. When I got home later, I felt different. I anticipated it. I said, you know what? You and I, my pain numbing, addicted self, we're together now. And I wouldn't be surprised if later tonight we didn't have an urge to binge watch or binge eat or something for distraction. And I didn't. I was able to come home and I felt more centered. And I actually had the kind of happy, pleasurable experience I would get from some addiction, some distraction, without doing an addiction or distraction. I stayed focused. I let go of overachieving demands, perfectionism. I don't have to rush and do a bunch of things. I took a nap and fully accepted that I had a great afternoon. I need a nap. I felt really good about it. None of this chatter you're taking a nap, you're copping out, you should have done more. Nope, I did. Everything's great. It's time for a human nap. You're doing well when you stay close to your human needs and you really appreciate them and celebrate them, because your human needs actually help you realize when you've done enough, you're at a closure point, you've done your best, let the source, let your soul family do the rest. To kind of turn things over to the rest of the universe that loves you. And so it was a healing. It was a major healing experience just by accepting other people set up a mess, a problem that I could solve to heal myself. Completely letting go of other people. I am my own universe. Other people just helped set up a situation that I could use as a ritual, as a handle on a part of me. And it's like that's where you have your own universe, your own consciousness. And what's more, here's the capper, the icing on the cake. And the reason why I want to get this in here, because you're going to see the video I shot. So as I'm walking in the woods out on the trail, heading back to my car, I'm holding this beer bottle feeling like, yeah, I am healing a part of myself by picking this up. I'm not other people's trash pickers. Picker-uppers. I am healing myself. I suddenly noticed this really magical kind of tree root that arched up over the moss and created a kind of little archway. It's like, wow, if I was like a little fairy or gnome, I would love to run through there. And I was just like, that's it. I feel like a magical being. I'm going to use my camera, and I held onto the tree and I kind of swooped down and got this swooping shot of going through the archway and looking from the other side and looking around. And I tried it a few times in and out. And the last time when I tried it, I didn't even notice some people were walking on the trail. And I got a perfect shot of the people walking by. It was just really magical. So that's what I want to conclude. This, I have these little end video segments. You're going to see what I shot, from the feelings, from the perspective of a nature spirit. When you feel that kind of magical creativity, it's like your inner child, and it's more. It's like your nature spirit, your natural self. Like nature spirits, earth is just about joy. It's just about you let the earth provide, you let life be magical and abundant, and you're just giddy and happy, and you just play. And it's like everything worked out perfectly. I so want to see this little segment. That's why I had to add this story so that I can put it all together. So there you go. That's a glimpse of how life can really work. You totally don't even have to react anymore to other people. Just go straight to like, oh, look at this situation. I could map this to a part of myself and work with a part of myself for permanent healing. I have my own universe. When I make a decision, it sticks for me. Completely letting go of other people. Who knows how much my world changed? I don't have a ticker tape on everything that changed yesterday evening because of that, but yeah, it shifted. It changed for me. And I don't feel the same kind of needing escape or needing addiction or needing pleasure, needing soothing, because there's nothing wrong. I want to be clear. I'll finish on this point. There's nothing wrong with your addictions. When you find yourself going for a distraction, a comfort, a self-medication, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't pathologize things. Don't buy into the false beliefs that basically say, that's all you are. You're always going to be that, and that's not good enough. Well, you know, what's not good enough is believing that that's all you are. That's not all you are. Any addiction starts with you finding something that's good for you. It does something magical. It's just you want to stay on top of it. The addiction is where you don't map the outer experience to the inner world, to your own divine universe, and grow that energy. Instead, you cling to the outside world. To feel that good thing, I always have to have it happen again. And then you get diminishing returns, where the world is trying to gently pry your hands off it. It's like, take a hint, like, you can't always have this, you know. But then people like make situations bad. Oh, it's a good situation if I can, you know, hang out in my bar and always drink a beer. And anything else is bad. I can't go to work unless I have a beer for lunch or something. It's like, this is how people get addicted, because they're not able to take some little pleasure, something that worked for them, and take it inside. And like, how can I have that kind of magical moment with myself all the time inside of me, coming out in a healthy, spontaneous way whenever I need it? So I'm not dependent on having a beer ready to drink and having a situation that would accept me drinking a beer. See, we're all addicted to physical reality. Physical reality is wonderful if you're able to go in and out smoothly, find what's valuable to you, and map it back to the inside, where you're always connected more with your soul, and you always have that energy. It's a beautiful life when you learn how to do that. And you let other people go. You're just grateful for the learning situations they helped to set up. You're not interested in changing anyone else anymore. You're interested in changing and healing yourself so that you always experience more of your soul. You always have more of the real you available to you, such that you're not fixated on like, well, I have to have a beer now. You're like, hey, I have to have more of my soul, my real self. So whatever comes up appropriate for the situation, it's going to feel so good, so satisfying. That's the magical thing about being connected with your soul. When you complete these experiences all the way back into a healing with your soul and being more with your soul and the parts of your soul, you're open, you're fresh, you're ready for whatever's right for me to experience more. You know, my higher self, you know better. You know, God, Goddess, Great Spirit, Creator, the Source, the Universe, you know better than me what would be the best thing for me to experience next. I just know that it's going to be really wonderful and satisfying, because that inner world is growing in me. I am the universe in all the bliss of being an entire universe, just focusing through the present moment of being a human here on the earth. Isn't that amazing?